do you think esports has gotten so many fans in such a short amount of time?
Okay, so I attribute this to a few things. The biggest one is the easy access to viewers and the viewership. So rise of the internet, obviously, but you have mobile phones, and like the games are right in your pocket. You can pull it out, you can play it. Now on your phone, and you can watch these esports tournaments, right? So before that, we had Twitch. We have now YouTube. Like trying to dive into the realm. You have major players. I believe. Several basketball teams are buying esports teams. I mean, these owners aren't stupid people. They must have some wherewithal when it comes to sporting talent. And these esports athletes, they definitely have skills that millions and millions of people want to watch. And these games go by so fast that you get that many viewers in that span of time. That does create like a certain value. And so definitely the ease of access. Another one is definitely our generation. I'm not a doctor, so I am definitely using this incorrectly. So this isn't medical advice, but I think all of us have a little bit of ADD or ADHD. So we need little lights going on everywhere. We have fidget spinners. We have, people who need the fidget spinners have, right? And I hate to bring it up here, but like we have multiple screens. We have a lot of stuff going on at the same time with our phones. We have, so we need that. And we're very much attention driven. We need faster paced sporting. So the traditional football, the traditional baseball, they're all moving in a direction of being faster paced. And like baseball, they got rid of the four pitch walk rule, where you don't have to throw the 4 pitches. You just say, okay, walk. It's it. Yeah, it makes logical sense, in terms of efficiency, but nothing spurred that rule until like our generation started watching baseball and getting bored. So you have, and they also, pitchers now have to pitch faster. They can't do a certain time. So it's really trying to make these sports move more quickly. And the last is the comes from the old model of those magazine strategy guides, where us gamers we used to read them to learn like, okay, where's the walkthrough? Like I played this game, I can't figure it out. Where's that freaking walkthrough? And you also and from there, there's the Twitch, the watching, not the physical Twitch, but the actual program Twitch and YouTube. You start watching the really good players play, and they have a following of viewers, and you're like, why are people watching them? And you watch them and you say, wow, if I just do this one little maneuver, I'll be twice as good. And you'll be able to, like not beat up on, but you'll be able to like seriously defeat other teams you're playing against from just one little thing. So it allows us to sort of improve our skill, and it allows us to prove our experience. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that each of us can become an esports competitor in this climate and make some money. There's tournaments going on all the time, and hey, if you're good at it, you should be able to leverage that to make some money, I think. Why not?
What legal requirements are there regarding esports?
Okay, so there are a lot of different realms of this, but one specific realm that as a lawyer I've had to engage in is, so we talked about a little bit of the monetization of esports. One big issue, and it's several people have had it in the past, is with companies like finance or companies using financial instruments to allow players to play to pay. So like PayPal, for instance. It's one of those companies that has the ability to say yes or no, whether you will be allowed to accept PayPal, which is a good thing. But at the same time, they introduce new dilemmas into the realm. So there's one dilemma is the skill versus luck dilemma. So the difference is the more you go towards the skill dilemma, it turns into like gambling. Or sorry, the more you go into luck dilemma, it turns into gambling. So you go to a casino, it's all luck. There's odds and stuff. But as you're playing like one-on-one Super Smash Brothers, not Melee, regular, just because it's better. You have a certain amount of lives. You're Star Fox versus Star Fox. You're playing the same level playing field. You spawn on exact ends and you go at it and you fight. And I don't believe there's too much luck involved. There's a very small amount of luck involved. If you just sneeze in the middle of the match, whatever. That's luck, right? But so PayPal and other companies really like that. Of corporations really love skill versus skill. They're fine with that. But as soon as it goes into luck-based, they're able to freeze your accounts. They're able to do all sorts of things that create problems for tournament companies that are trying to use their medium to survive. So as gambling laws, I mean, you can presume are just much more complex, and you have to navigate a certain way. You have to have a lot of skill as an attorney to navigate them, and it's just not worth it. You don't want to even go into gambling. You just want to keep it as try to argue it's skill based. And so, I mean, that's just one of several legal requirements, but other ones are anti-doping. So you have to say that you're not going to take any drugs. There's these contracts that you would see are like silly. Like I mentioned ADD. Maybe some of us, need to medicate our ADD, and you got to prove that to an esports tournament and stuff like that. It's just interesting. You have to go around HIPAA laws. You have to all this stuff. So.
A lot of stuff to
I could bore you with it.
Ooh, let's go.
And so also it brings up a different angle is that it brings up traditional legal issues like agency. So I have to represent certain esports clients when they want to be on a team or they want to leverage their advertising ability. So advertising and marketing, basic contracting. It's become, I mean, think of yourself as an athlete. It's become one of those realms where, we're going to start having athletes brand their own computers. Somebody's going to definitely give up that right because it's your computer screen. No more Dell, Asus, whatever. It doesn't matter. Now this is my team branded monitor. I think it's going to get that big where it's like the Jordans are now the mice of the, it's like you're not wearing Jordan shoes anymore. It's like, are you using this team's gaming laptop because they're the sickest team, kind of a thing.
And do you believe in player unions or player-owned teams?
Yes, and I wish I had thought of it first. So, player unions is something that I'm very much an avid believer in. If people remember the EVE Online scandals, and there's been scandals in every game now. There's been some also in World of Tanks. I've seen some happen where players will take an item of value and they will cash out. They will do things that will make it so that they keep that value to themselves or distribute it elsewhere, sort of cheating the clan, cheating the friends that they've made over the time. And they're able to hide behind the end user license agreements, the EULAs, because the game will just say, oh, you play this game at your own free will. Like you put money into it. It's what happens. It's its own universe. It's its own government. Right.
Right.
And so with a union or player owned teams, if something like that were to happen again, those the union or the community could shun that person out of the community forever.
Right.
They could make it so that I hate to shun people in general, but if you do something despicable like that, I feel like there should be some sort of punishment. It's one of those things where you can have the community can have some sense of control over just bad acts like this. So yeah, I definitely believe in them. And especially player-owned teams. I think that to an extent, it's like equity, right? It's very powerful. If you give the people who work for you a little bit of a share in what you're doing, they're going to work harder for it and they're going to make it better. And no one can say that they know everything. So, I mean, I know that you definitely contribute a lot to where you work. So thanks for having me on.